We wanted to know about the 1980s and how it was then compared to now. We took a team out onto the streets of Wellington to find out what people thought and remembered about the 80s era compared to present day. It was a time of change where people and cultures were evolving and new ideas were being introduced.
80s was a time of change. We're from America, a state called South Carolina, a city called Charleston. There was change worldwide. I think that we had a president at that time, Ronald Reagan, who brought about a lot of change not only in our country, but I think with Glasnost and what he did with Russia, it brought about the opportunity for peace. So that's what I sort of remember.
The end of the Cold War, the United States taking position as the only superpower left in the world.
From this change sparked a political uproar where America was the only superpower and influences were put onto other countries. Ideas for the better of countries were made, some good, some bad.
1981 was the Springbok tour. I was 14, and that year that's all you saw on the news. The whole world in New Zealand was in a total upheaval, and it was the closest thing we had to a civil war, you might say. I say that because the entire country was affected. There was nobody left out of that. And it was the first time in New Zealand we'd seen riot squads, police in full riot squad, people running around in helmets, people blocking off the motorway. Nothing like that has ever happened before in New Zealand. That's one thing that today's generation has no idea about.
When there is a change in the political system, the repercussions affect how society views things. Fashion was one of these major influences of this time, due to the expressions of art and rebellion coming through.
I would let my sons have long hair, and I would let them wear boots, and I would have met them halfway, and I was too fond of strictly adhering to principles. Well, today I would throw my principles out the window.
Fashion is dead. It's got nowhere else to go. It can only regurgitate. And one of the regurgitations is the 80s. It's come back several times. At the moment, it's come back in force. You see all the flat shoes for the women and the guys with their stripy hoodies that go across ways. That was like really early 80s. And the big slogan t-shirts, that was like 1983 for me. So that was really interesting. And the big slogan back then was choose life.
After taking all these opinions into context, it's obvious to see how the 80s influences the culture today. Be it the watered down version of the 80s culture, which can be seen in today's youth, or just people trying to relive it through fashion and music. It can be safe to say that the changes of the 80s were a significant part of history that helped create the present day lifestyle.